Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Cap Social Network, aka Caprice Social Network. And man, have I got a treat for y'all in today's video. And I know I'm gonna ruffle some feathers for all you ladies that may follow my content, which a few of you do. And I'm just going to be straight up. Not only am I going to ruffle some feathers, but I'm also going to call a spade on why guys look at single mothers as recreational use. In fact, fellas, answer this question. How many times have you been out and about, seen a woman who happened to be a single mother? And one way you can point out is by looking at the ring finger on them, which is usually the finger right next to the index finger on the left hand, not seeing a ring on it at all. And not only that, but in most cases, a lady with either a kid or most of the time, multiple kids, women. On top of that, dress is provocative and just revealing as possible. Because I have experienced quite a bit of times. I could be, for instance, at a local grocery store, only to be able to spot a mother, one of her kids, and being on the phone talking to a man while one of her kids and almost naked, completely naked. And this is one reason why I'm stating why most guys look at single mothers as recreational or for recreational use. Look at them only for recreational purposes. And also how most single mothers, not only nowadays, unlike back in the days, how more of them believe in having their kids. If you look at from our grandmothers to our great-grandmothers, how they believed in having kids, all their kids by the same men in most cases, with the exception of very few. Nowadays, women are having as many as 10 kids by 9 and sometimes 10 different dudes, and are proud of it. And one reason why is because of how they're more praised now for having kids out of wedlock. In addition, for having kids by multiple men as well, and due to what we see in the media, due to how women by like some Sexy Red, Meg Thee Stallion, although Meg Thee Stallion doesn't have kids as far as I know, but specifically women such as who happens to be a mother, unfortunately by the likes of Sexy Red, Suki Hunter, happen to glorify being promiscuous, being a slut. And for the most part, that's how a lot of guys look at women that are single mothers, especially women that happen to have kids by multiple men. Excuse me as I take a sip of this Red Bull. Not only do they look at you as sexually appealing, especially when the way how a lot of you go out in public scantily clad and practically naked with your kids, for crying out loud, but we also see you as freaks in the bedroom, and it's easy to give it up. And it's obvious in most cases you are, because or otherwise you wouldn't have had all your kids by different men. Anyway, and to defend my statement, I wanted to show this clip courtesy of the show, the podcast Fresh and Fit, on behalf of one of the hosts of the show, debating between one of the female guests. Because, and whether you know it or not, ladies and gentlemen, most of the guests that are used on that show, which are usually females, are 304s, women that have been ran through, women that have a track record, so to speak, women that are very promiscuous, women that you're usually scantily clad. Once again, on this particular clip, courtesy of TikTok, one of the hosts of the show Fresh and Fit is trying to debate on and give his perspective on why single mothers are used for recreational or should be used for recreational purposes. And this woman who he happens to debate with happens to be a mother as well, a single mother at that. So as soon as I'm done rolling the clip, I will be right back.
What benefit I would derive from taking on a single mother's child from another man? What benefit do I derive?
Oh, I mean, the benefit of the woman, first of all, just because somebody has a kid doesn't mean anything. If you go adopt a kid, it's not your kid, so fuck
That's different. I'm choosing that kid and I have rights over that child.
You're choosing a single mother, so therefore you're choosing the child that comes with the mother.
Yeah, but that's a negative for me.
No, it's not.
But as soon as you guys break up, you say bye-bye to the kid.
For you, personally, but not for every man. There are some men that will date single mothers.
We can move on.
Okay.
There are.
If a man is attractive and has options, etc., it's not in his best interest to date a single mother. Because logically speaking here, not feelings, logically,
yeah.
If I get with that woman and she breaks up with me, not only do I lose her, but I lose access to the child.
Exactly.
And I have no recourse to see that child again because it's not mine.
Yep.
So it's an L for a man to come in as a single father and take on another man's child.
I mean, it depends.
I have all the responsibility with no authority. I can't discipline that child the way that I want.
It depends.
Huh?
It depends. If you go into a relationship with a single mother and let's say the father is nowhere involved and you legally adopt the child because that's what you choose to do, you can discipline that child, you can do whatever you want to your child.
Cannot.
Yes, you can.
CPS says otherwise. No, at the end they didn't
I'm
never
a
gonna
single
discipline
mother.
them.
Oh, that's what she's defending herself.
Yeah.
So you let random men hit your child?
No, I don't.
discipline
But if
attitude.
I'm with someone and they legally adopt my child, we get that far where they
Now, and I'm back once again, folks. Notice how the lady that's debating with one of the hosts of Fresh and Fit just mentioned how she's a single mother. Really, and in my personal and honest opinion, ladies and gentlemen, nothing about her states that she's a single mother. Or if she is, I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, that she is a very unfit single mother. One reason why is because not only does she come across as the loose, promiscuous type, and the main reason I say that is because of the sleeve on one of her arms, some of the tattoos on one of her arms, but she also seems to be scantily clad, just judging by the top she's wearing. And if you pay close attention to some of the other women that were on the podcast, some of them either have multiple tattoos, if not that, are halfway naked. And this is right here on this particular podcast, just to defend my statement, a prime example on how the women, whenever they appear on this podcast, usually most of the time, if not all the time, or some of the time at least, are usually women on this they usually appear on this podcast as guests of some of the most promiscuous women that you can find, and they also usually happen to be between the early 20s to early 30s age bracket as well, such as these women. I also want to state how anytime for all us fellas that usually may like to fool around with women that may be single mothers or look at single mothers for the most part as recreational use or for recreational purposes, we have to also factor in how whenever we may want to become intimate with women of that caliber or of that nature, how we can always have our way with them sexually, because it may come a case where all of her kids may usually partake in some sort of extracurricular activities, either the band or sports, usually at their schools. Therefore, they have to usually partake in attending either their band practices or their practices for whichever kind of sports they may usually partake in, their kids usually partake in. If not that, the mothers usually have to balance helping their kids with homework. And like I stated in another video, fellas, this is primarily on behalf of all my fellas that follow my channel, because the majority of my fan base is men. Anyway, her kids will always come before you. For all you guys that may be dating a woman that may already have kids from either a previous marriage or previous relationship, but you may not happen to have kids of your very own. If you may want to, for the most part, date one to become more intimate with one, you have to factor in and take into accountability how, once again, fellas, her kids will always be her number one priority. And because there you will always have to deal with having to work around her schedule with her kids in case you may, whenever you may want to become sexually involved with her or intimate with her. And once again, and like always, make sure you like the video, you share it, you comment on it. Last but not least, you subscribe to the channel. Anyway, have a good day, guys.
Adopt my child and they're living with me and we get married and we're together for 10 years, who am I to say that you can't discipline this child?
All that time.
Here's the problem,
10
right?
years?
No.
Goddamn.
I date a single mother, so take this problem, right? When,
Stupid.
let's say you date this guy, and he gets into your life, he's there long term, you trust him, you love your child. How far is too far? For example, he might say, you know what? He threw water on my jacket, I'm gonna smack him.
Well,
But-
first of all, nobody is supposed to hit a child, technically by law.
See, this is the point.
I think you should get smacked.
Disciplining a child is not just
Only
hitting a
goes so
child.
far. So see, ultimately speaking, he has no authority. You have other authority. So it
No,
doesn't make any
you don't.
sense.
You don't. Disciplining a child is not hitting a child.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Legally, you can go to jail for hitting a child.
See, stop the show.
Yeah.
See, here, perfect. So let's say you go with a guy that does believe in beating children.
Mhm.
Now, he can't discipline the children how he wants because you are the main caretaker. You are the main guardian. So already my ability to raise this child, etc., is already inhibited.
Gone.
So, and I'm responsible for taking care of this kid, paying for this kid, etc., and I have zero authority. That's slavery. Responsibility without authority is slavery. So for you, it's great because the guy comes in, you got a man, he's helping you with the kid, blah, 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 but the guy takes on way more risk. So I tell dudes, single moms, don't take them seriously because there's not much ROI for the man.
Well, what if you can't have kids? Then what?
The fuck?
Okay, here's the thing. And let's say I can't have kids biologically. I'd be better off adopting my own kid.
Yep.
But what's the difference in between adopting your own kid that was created by someone else and getting with a woman?
Because I have legal rights over that child.
If you legally adopt a child, you have authority.
A lot of single moms will not like that.
Exactly.
And these men
Well,
are not
that's the case.
See,
But
here's
that's
the
not
thing.
what
Y'all
I'm
are only looking at it from the
explaining.
female perspective and it benefits you, so that's why you're fighting so hard for it. But I'm speaking from another perspective. Put your son in the shoes. Do you want your son to go in, that's successful, that's made himself, go take on a single mom that has a kid? He takes all this risk
You
with
can't
not much
ask
upside?
that. You can't ask me that because I'm a single mom, so I'm gonna say yes. If
No,
you feel like
no, you
that's
won't.
No.
yes, I would.
No,
I promise you I would.
that's fantastic for you to say that. But the point is that there's not much benefit for a man to come in and take in a single mom and her child.
Can I ask a question? Did y'all
Yeah.
grow up with your father in the household?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you don't know what it's like to have a stepfather?
Nope. No,
Okay,
thank God.
because for a child that grew up with a stepfather, it's important. It's something that fix the gap.
You know what's better than a
You see what
stepfather?
I'm saying?
The biological
No.
father.
Yeah.
No.
So
Sometimes the stepfather could actually be a better figure
They
than
can
the
step
actual
together.
biological figure.
but
Maybe he would have been a
Hold on,
much
hold on.
better person than me.
He could, right? But you know what he said?
100%.
Sometimes
He